Hello everybody, this is Crafty, and welcome to part 3 of the Lycanite mobs mod showcase. In this video, we'll be showcasing all of the Avian, Arthropod, and Aquatic mobs that are in this amazing mod. So, without any further ado, let's dive right into it. This is the Ventoraptor. The Ventoraptor has a health of 20, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 4. The Ventoraptor can drop 1 to 3 bones, 1 to 3 feathers, and 1 Ventoraptor skull. In combat, the Ventoraptor will wildly run and claw at the player, dealing melee attack damage. Ventoraptor can spawn in any type of plains biome. The Ventoraptor has 2 variants, the Ashen Ventoraptor and the Azure Ventoraptor. This is the Uvaraptor. The Uvaraptor has a health of 20, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 4. The Uvaraptor can drop 1 to 3 feathers, 1 to 3 bones, and 1 Uvaraptor skull. In combat, the Uvaraptor will leap into the air to attack the player. The Uvaraptor can be tamed by using Avian treats, and once it is, you will be able to mount it. Once mounted, when you use the mount ability while jumping, you will soar high up into the air and glide down slowly. Uvaraptors spawn commonly in jungle biomes. The Uvaraptor has 2 variants, the Scarlet Uvaraptor and the Violet Uvaraptor. This is the Rock. The Rock has a health of 10, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 2. The Rock can drop 1 to 3 feathers and bones. In combat, the Rock will pick the player up, and then will drop them once they are at a high enough altitude. So the Avian will actually pick up creepers and drop them on the player. The Rock can additionally be tamed by using beast treats, and then can be ridden by putting a saddle on it, and its mount ability will allow you to pick up mobs such as creepers. Rocks spawn in plains biomes and are known to pick up other mobs and drop them. The Rock has 2 variants, the Golden Rock and the Scarlet Rock. This is the Ryko. The Ryko has a health of 10, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 2. The Ryko can drop 1 to 3 feathers and bones. In combat, the Ryko will pick up the player and then drop them, afflicting the weight effect on the player. The Ryko can be tamed by using Avian treats, and once it is, it will be available as a mount. Its mount ability allows it to pick up mobs, and it can also fly and moves at fast speeds underwater. However, you will not be able to breathe while riding it underwater, and neither will the Ryko. The Ryko can spawn on beaches and will often fly over the ocean. The Ryko has 2 variants, the Azure Ryko and the Golden Ryko. This is the Tsutoramu. The Tsutoramu has a health of 25, a defense of 1, and a melee attack damage of 2. The Tsutoramu can drop 1 to 2 iron ore, flint, gold nuggets, and spider eyes, and can also drop its stinger. In combat, the Tsutoramu will attack the player with its stinger, afflicting the aphasia and hunger effects. The Tsutoramu can spawn in desert and mesa biomes. The Tsutoramu has 2 variants, the Golden Tsutoramu and the Scarlet Tsutoramu. This is the Frostweaver. The Frostweaver has a health of 15, a defense of 1, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Frostweaver spider can drop 1 to 6 string, 1 to 2 spider eyes, and 1 to 3 frostweb charges. In combat, the Frostweaver will fire frostweb charges at the player and spawn temporary frostwebs if it misses the player. Frostweaver spiders spawn in cold biomes such as taigas. The Frostweaver has 2 variants, the Lux Frostweaver and the Azure Frostweaver. This is the Concipede. The Concipede has a health of 10, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 2. The Concipede can drop 1 to 3 raw Concipede meat, which will be cooked if it is killed with fire, and it can also drop 1 to 2 string. The Concipede will attack the player with a poisonous bite, however, will only attack if it is nighttime or if it is provoked. Now, the wiki states that you can farm Concipedes with any type of vegetable to make it peaceful, and then there's a lot of other information, such as you can, once it has love hearts, you should be able to then cut off the body segments and have it drop Concipede meat. However, only the heads appear to drop the meat, and the vegetables in the arthropod treats do not seem to work when trying to make it peaceful. So, I'm not sure if this is unimplemented or if this is a bug. However, it does not seem to be working in this version. Concapides can spawn in jungle-type biomes. The concapede has two variants, the Azure concapede and the Verdant concapede. This is the Lurker. The Lurker has a health of 15, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Lurker can drop 2 to 5 string, 2 to 3 leather, and 1 to 2 poison glands. In combat, the Lurker will apply the blindness, poison, and plague effects to the player, but will then run off and wait for the poison to be finished before attacking again. The Lurker can be tamed and kept as a pet by using arthropod treats. Lurkers spawn in swamp and forest biomes and will actually avoid going into colder biomes. The Lurker has two variants, the Ashen Lurker and the Verdant Lurker. This is the Tarantula. The Tarantula has a health of 15, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 2. The Tarantula can drop 1 to 6 string and 1 to 2 spider eyes. In combat, the Tarantula will move up and attack the player, inflicting the poison effect, and will spread poisonous webs wherever it goes. Tarantulas spawn in both swamp and jungle biomes. The Tarantula has two variants, the Scarlet Tarantula and the Russet Tarantula. This is the Joust. The Joust has a health of 10, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 3. Jousts can drop 1 to 2 joust meat, which will be cooked if it was killed with fire. In combat, jousts are typically peaceful, but will attack once they are hit, or if an alpha joust commands them to do so. During combat, in this way, they will then rapidly attack the player. Jousts can be bred by using green dye, or cactus greens. Jousts spawn in desert and mesa biomes. The Joust has two variants, the Russet Joust and the Lux Joust. This is the Alpha Joust. The Alpha Joust has a health of 20, a defense of 1, and a melee attack damage of 3. The Alpha Joust can drop 1 to 3 joust meat, which will be cooked if it is killed with fire. In combat, the Alpha Joust will call upon all nearby jousts to attack you, and will attack you on sight without provocation. Unlike the regular Joust, the Alpha Joust can also not be tamed by using cactus greens. Alpha Joust can spawn in desert and mesa biomes and will often have a lot of regular Joust with it. The Alpha Joust has two variants, the Verdant Alpha Joust and the Violet Alpha Joust. This is the Iwig. The Iwig has a health of 15, a defense of 1, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Iwig can drop 1 to 3 string, 1 fermented spider eye, 1 to 2 spider eyes and poison glands, and 3 to 5 poison ray charges. In combat, the Iwig will fire a poisonous beam at the player, afflicting the plague and poison effects, and has a melee attack that will afflict the blindness effect upon the player. The Iwig can be tamed and ridden as a mount. Once it is mounted, it will then be able to use its mount ability, which is to fire a poison beam at any mobs. It can also climb up walls and across water. Iwigs can spawn in swamp, dark oak forest, and jungle biomes. The Iwig has two variants, the Azure Iwig and the Violet Iwig. This is the Euripede. The Euripede has a health of 20, a defense of 2, and a melee attack damage of 2. The Euripede can drop 1 to 2 flint, iron ore, and gold nuggets, and can also drop 3 to 5 mudshot charges. In combat, the Euripede will fire mudshot charges at the player, afflicting the aphasia, weight, and mining fatigue effects. The Euripede can be tamed by using arthropod treats, and once it is, it will be available as a mount. Once you have mounted the Euripede, you can then use its mount ability, which is to fire a mudshot charge. Euripede can spawn in desert and mesa biomes. The Euripede has two variants, the Golden Euripede and the Ashen Euripede. This is the Vespid. The Vespid has a health of 5, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Vespid can drop 1 to 16 clay balls, 1 to 4 propolis and Veswax, and 1 Vespid Stinger. In combat, the Vespid will sting the player, afflicting the poison effect. However, it is fairly weak, and they will usually attack in large groups. Vespids spawn in hives, which are located in jungle biomes, and will almost always have a queen with them. The Vespid has two variants, the Scarlet Vespid and the Ashen Vespid. This is the Queen Vespid. The Queen Vespid has a health of 30, a defense of 2, and a melee attack damage of 2. The Queen Vespid can drop 1 to 16 clay balls, 4 to 8 Propulsion Vestwax, and 1 Vespid Stinger. In combat, the Queen Vespid will sting the player, afflicting the poison, plague, and penetration effects. Queen bees will also attack Kanba, putting their eggs in them, and eventually, when the Kanba dies, it will explode, releasing a horde of Vespids. The Queen Vespid can spawn in jungle biomes and will often be the center of a hive. The Vespid Queen is what spurs the production of a hive, and this is what it will look like. The Vespid Queen has 2 variants, the Scarlet Vespid Queen and the Ashen Vespid Queen. This is the Gorgomite. The Gorgomite has a health of 5, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Gorgomite can drop 1 to 2 stone or sandstone, and 1 flint and iron ore. In combat, the Gorgomite will afflict the player with the hunger effect, and will also call for other Gorgomites to help out. So it can quickly become a swarm when you expected to only have to fight 1. Gorgomites can spawn in the desert at nighttime. The Gorgomite has 2 variants, the Dark Gorgomite and the Keppel Gorgomite. This is the Darkling. The Darkling has a health of 10, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Darkling can drop 1 to 2 Spider Eyes, and 1 Ender Pearl, Fronted Spider Eye, and Darkling Skull. In combat, the Darklings will leap at the player and attach themselves to the player, draining health and healing themselves in the process. Darklings spawn in dark, underground areas. The Darkling has 2 variants, the Azure Darkling and the Russet Darkling. This is a Calpod. The Calpod has a health of 5, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Calpod can drop 1 to 6 logs, sticks, and coal if killed with fire, 1 to 3 wheat, melon, and pumpkin seeds, and 1 to 2 spider eyes. In combat, the Calpod will move up to the player and attack them, and will also call other Calpod to their side when they are in distress. Calpod spawn in any type of forest biome. The Calpod has 2 variants, the Verdant Calpod and the Violet Calpod. This is the Herma. The Herma has a health of 30, a defense of 3, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Herma should drop 1 to 3 fish and salmon, and 1 to 2 clownfish and horrorfish. However, through testing and through looking at the bestiary entries, it appears that it does not drop anything but air for the moment. This may be a glitch, or it may be a work in progress. I don't know which. In combat, the Herma will move up and attack the player, dealing the 1 point of melee damage. The Herma can be tamed by using arthropod treats, and will then be able to perch on your shoulder. Herma can spawn on beaches. The Herma has 2 variants, the Azure Herma and the Russet Herma. Hello everybody, you're around halfway through the video, so this will be a good time for me to mention that if you've been enjoying the video and found it informative, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's completely free and it helps me out a huge bunch, letting me know that you guys are enjoying what I'm putting out on the internet. Also, this will be a good time for me to mention that I will be live streaming July 6th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and you should make sure to follow me on Instagram, which will be on the screen now and in the description of the video, so that way you can know if that happens to change last minute. Anyways, on with the video. This is the Lacedon. The Lacedon has a health of 15, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Lacedon can drop 1 to 3 cod and salmon, and 1 to 2 clownfish and pufferfish. In combat, the Lacedon will attack the player, afflicting the weight debuff, which will usually result in the player drowning in the water. Lacedon spawn in every type of ocean biome. The Lacedon has 2 variants, the Verdant Lacedon and the Scarlet Lacedon. This is the Aglabimu. The Aglabimu has a health of 10, a defense of 1, and a melee attack damage of 2. The Aglabimu can drop 1 to 3 slime balls and 1 to 2 poison glands. In combat, the Aglabimu will attack the player with their tongue, afflicting both the poison and plague effects. Aglabimu spawn in swamp biomes. The Aglabimu has 2 variants, the Scarlet Aglabimu and the Azure Aglabimu. This is the Dweller. The Dweller has a health of 20, a defense of 2, and a melee attack damage of 2. The Dweller can drop 1 to 3 cod and salmon, and 1 to 2 poison glands. In combat, the Dweller will attack the player, afflicting the poison effect. Dweller can spawn in swamp, dark oak forest, and jungle biomes. The Dweller has 2 variants, the Azure Dweller and the Russet Dweller. This is the Skyless. The Skyless has a health of 20, a defense of 1, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Skyless can drop 1 to 5 die, 1 to 2 prismarine shards, and 1 prismarine crystals. In combat, the Skyless will grab the player and attempt to pull them underwater. And once they have sustained enough damage, their shell will break, making them a lot faster, but more susceptible to damage. Skyless spawn in saltwater ocean biomes. The Skyless has 2 variants, the Ashen Skyless and the Scarlet Skyless. This is the Strider. The Strider has a health of 40, a defense of 1, and a melee attack damage of 2. The Strider can drop 1 to 5 cod, 1 to 3 salmon, 1 to 2 prismarine shards, and 1 prismarine crystal. In combat, the Strider will pick up the player, afflicting the penetration and mining fatigue effects. The Strider can be tamed by using aquatic treats and will then be available as a mount. Striders spawn in large lakes or rivers. The Strider has 2 variants, the Scarlet Strider and the Ashen Strider. This is the Ica. The Ica has a health of 10, a defense of 1, and a melee attack damage of 2. The Ica can drop 1 to 3 Ica meat, which will be cooked if it is killed with fire. The Ica are passive mobs that can be bred by using different types of vegetables. However, they are not able to remain outside the water for very long, so make sure to keep them in the water while breeding. The Ica can spawn in any type of saltwater biome. The Ica has 2 variants, the Azure Ica and the Golden Ica. This is a Saphignus. The Saphignus has a health of 5, a defense of 1, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Saphignus can drop 1 to 3 magma cream and 1 to 2 Saphignus meat. The Saphignus is a passive mob and can be bred by using coal. The Saphignus spawns in large lava pools and cannot survive outside of lava for very long. The Saphignus has 2 variants, the Golden Saphignus and the Scarlet Saphignus. This is the Abtu. The Abtu has a health of 5, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Abtu can drop 1 to 3 cod, which will be cooked if it is killed with fire. In combat, the Abtu will swim up to the player and attack them, and can even summon smaller Abtu to its defense. Abtu spawn in saltwater ocean biomes. The Abtu has 2 variants, the Azure Abtu and the Scarlet Abtu. This is the Calyx. The Calyx has a health of 5, a defense of 1, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Calyx can drop 1 to 2 Calyx meat and 1 to 3 lapis lazuli. Calyx are passive creatures and can be bred by using lapis lazuli. Calyx spawn in freshwater rivers and lakes. The Calyx has 2 variants, the Lux Calyx and the Keppel Calyx. This is a Thresher. The Thresher has a health of 80, a defense of 2, and a melee attack damage of 4. The Thresher can drop 3 to 6 cod, salmon, and prismarine shards, and 1 to 3 prismarine crystals. The Thresher will create whirlpools in the water to pull in the player and attack it. The player is not safe on land, as the whirlpools will pull the player out of land and into the air. The Thresher has 2 variants, the Golden Thresher and the Verdant Thresher. This is the Roa. The Roa has a health of 20, a defense of 1, and a melee attack damage of 4. The Roa can drop 3 to 6 cod and 1 to 3 bones. In combat, the Roa will produce whirlpools in the water, and which has a small chance to pull in creatures on land, and will definitely pull in any creatures in the water. The Roa can be tamed by using aquatic treats, and once it is, it will be available as a mount. And its mount ability would allow you to breathe underwater indefinitely while riding it, and allows you to use the whirlpool ability that it has in combat. Roa spawn in saltwater ocean biomes. The Roa has 2 variants, the Verdant Roa and the Scarlet Roa. This is the Iore. The Iore has a health of 20, a defense of 1, and a melee attack damage of 2. The Iore can drop 1 to 3 cod, salmon, lapis lazuli, and water jet charges, 1 to 2 prismarine shards, and 1 prismarine crystal and diamonds. In combat, the IRA will fire water jet charges at the player, inflicting the penetration and mining fatigue effects. IRA can be tamed with aquatic treats, and once they are tamed, they will be available as a mount, which allows you to have infinite fire resistance and water breathing while riding it, as well as being able to fire water jet charges. IRA spawn in saltwater ocean biomes. The IRA has two variants, the Lux IRA and the Verdant IRA. This is the Avia. The Avia has a health of 5, a defense of 0, and a melee attack damage of 1. The Avia can drop 1 to 5 cod, 1 to 8 glowstone dust, and the modeled variant can drop 1 aquatic soulstone. In combat, the Avia will electrocute the player, afflicting them with the paralysis effect. The Avia can spawn in any type of water biome, including oceans, rivers, and lakes. The Avia has 3 variants, the Violet Avia, the Ashen Avia, and the Modeled Avia, which is summoned by creating this shrine and activating it with a soul key. Hey, look at that, you made it to the end of the video. If you watched all the way through, make sure to subscribe, and maybe leave a like. I don't know, I can't tell you what to do. But I hope that you guys are having an amazing day, and that this video enhanced your Minecraft experience even in the slightest bit, and I'll see you guys in the next video.